I am just going to kind of assume away on that front. We are about to officially start the Baldur's Gate-Run. Completionist mode, me talking lore the entire way through. I am going to go to so much depth in this game, as much as possible, that you probably won't ever need to play it yourself. But I definitely recommend playing it yourself. Now, in the previous stream that I did, where I just wanted to show the craziness of the game, I showed you the extreme hard difficulty, and I showed you all of this. We're just going to skip all that and go to a character I created earlier. These are her stats. I explained all of this in the previous, everything to do with character creation before, but I will point out now, Dexterity 20 and Constitution 20 are impossible normally. I am playing, for this game, a Gith-Yankee, in honor of the fact that Baldur's Gate 3 is coming out, and my two favourite races, Mind Flayers and Gith-Yankee, are kind of centre stage. I'm in Baldur's Gate 3. So I'm going to be playing this game as a Gith-Yankee. As a Gith-Yankee, they get +2 to Dex and +2 to Constitution. So when I made this character, I edited the game files so that I could have the +2 to Dex and +2 to Con. But otherwise, all of this is exactly as written, as normal. All I've done is add a few benefits from being a Gith-Yankee, namely that, and also my physical appearance. You can't see it now, but when the game starts, I will be a Gith-Yankee. So,
your doom approaches.
That's my voice. I'm going with it. Alright. That's that. Now, you can actually create more than one character. I'm just going to point this out. You can actually make multiple characters, but one of them will be your starting character. Also, so that people know, this game is actually multiplayer. You can have a maximum of 6 characters in this game, and it allows you to have 6 players. Like multiplayer and all that, 6. I'm not going to be doing this multiplayer. I'm not doing this with anyone other than myself. And if you do it multiplayer, I fundamentally recommend no more than 3 players. Because then you get 2 characters each, and it works pretty nicely. And communication and that sort of thing. But you can absolutely play a 6-player game. I'm going to be playing in the tactical rules, which I got from one of the few mods that I installed. I installed a few mods, I explained it all in the previous video, but basically the only mods I've installed, with one exception, are purely to enhance the pre-existing gameplay. So to speed up interaction between NPCs, just so that they talk more and you get to see more of it. Give some of the NPCs portraits, just so it livens up the stream, and you can say, he looks like this, you know. Little things like that. The only change to gameplay I've really done is increase the AI, which that mod is what gives me the tactical option here. If you're playing this on vanilla, you wouldn't get tactical. You'd get like basic, core, advanced sort of thing. So,
nestled atop the cliffs that rise from the Sword Coast, the citadel of Candlekeep houses the finest and most comprehensive collection of writings on the face of Farron. It is an imposing fortress, kept in strict isolation from the intrigues that occasionally plague the rest of the Forgotten Realms. It is secluded, highly regimented, and it is home. Within these hallowed halls of knowledge, your story begins. You have spent most of your 20 years of life within this keep's austere walls, under the tutelage of the sage Gorion. Acting as your father, he has raised you on 1,000 tales of heroes and monsters, lovers and infidels, battles and tragedies. However, one story was always left untold, that of your true heritage. You have been told that you are an orphan, but your past is largely unknown. Lately, Gorion has been growing distant from you, as if some grave matter weighs heavily on his heart. You have asked about his concerns as gently as possible, but your queries have been in vain. Your sole comfort is the knowledge that he is a wise man, and you know he will tell you when the time is right. Nonetheless, his silence is troubling, and you cannot help but feel that something is terribly wrong. Today, Gorion has appeared more agitated than ever, and now he has uncharacteristically interrupted your chores in the middle of the day, imparting hurried instructions for you to equip yourself for travel. He has handed you what gold he can spare, but given no clue as to why. Nevertheless, you now stand before the Candlekeep Inn, ready to purchase what you need for an unplanned and unexpected journey.
Alright. So, this is what I look like, for those of you who didn't see the previous stream. Normally in this game, if you equip items, put different armor on, this character model will actually change. But, because I modified to use this character model instead of the normal ones, it won't change. There's only one model for Gith-Yankee, so that's, no matter what items I equip, that's all we will get. Having explained that, there's a few things I feel I do need to explain now, because we are officially starting, so I feel I should actually tell you what I'm going to do with this stream. So, the purpose of my channel, aside from me having fun and you guys just tagging along for it, is I'm trying to get people who are experts in games, who know the lore of the game very well, or know the development of the game, whatever. I want to bring them in when I run games, and for them to talk about the game with their expert knowledge, so that people watching can get more out of the game itself than they would from just playing it. But with Baldur's Gate, I am the expert. I have played this game so much, I know it incredibly well. Maybe not perfectly, but I do know it incredibly well. But also, this game is set in the D&D campaign setting of the Forgotten Realms, and not only is the game very rich in the lore, but it actually interconnects with other bits of lore in the Forgotten Realms that if you didn't know those connections and you weren't familiar with those connections, you wouldn't necessarily notice it immediately.
This idle time does not suit me.
Now,
I prefer action.
Also, I talk. Now, I get frustrated when I don't do anything. But in this game, where we are now is Candlekeep. You got a little bit about it in the opening scroll, but Candlekeep is a major location in the Forgotten Realms. It is the library of the Forgotten Realms. Imagine the library of Alexandria. Turn it into a fortress. Have it protected by several thousand layers of magical protection, stick a dragon under it, which you don't actually, there is actually the ghost of a dragon underneath Candlekeep that protects Candlekeep from intruders and from anyone trying to steal from it, and basically grab what is some of the most powerful magic in the world and cram it here purely for the defense of this giant fortress library. I can talk about this part for quite a while, and I probably will at some point, because one of the few mods that I installed that does not simply enhance gameplay is a character called Zahn, who in the original game, he has nothing. He barely has any lines of dialogue, just enough for you to get an idea of his personality, and that's it. But somebody made a mod, and it's amazing, and it brings so much lore from the elves into the game, because Zahn is an elf. And if I recall correctly, one of the things he does actually mention is this magical thing, one of the most powerful things that the elves ever created, which is called a mythal, or a mythalar, which is a combination of living magic in a giant ball of living magic that has 50 different effects that are permanent and last forever. These things are things like, your normal lifespan is 80 years? It's now 800. Oh, that's a butter knife you're using? It's now a magical butter knife you're using. Oh, someone just tried to use some mind control on you? Yeah, that doesn't work. And these things are permanent. And this is a thing that, for almost all of D&D, like Forgotten Realms history, only the elves have this. But there is a minor one in Candlekeep. They spent, like it's not anywhere near as powerful. It's barely even the same thing. But the level of concentrated magic, the level of layers and layers and layers upon layer, some of the most powerful magic users, like spellcasters in Forgotten Realms history, put their effort into making this library as safe as possible. And this actually will kind of become a plot point later in the game. They never go into all of these details, but the levels of protection and security of this location is actually a plot point of this game. And it's a big part of why this location was chosen for the plot of the game in a lot of different ways. Also, somebody was just commenting, like Baldur's Gate 2, you can get yourself some gear right off the bat through exploiting import character and single-player multiplayer in Baldur's Gate 2. Yes, this is absolutely true. One of the things that you can do in this game is, say I play through the game, I can then export my character, which is what I actually did in order to be able to import, at the start of this, when I was creating the character, I hit import to bring up this character. I made this character previously, started the game, and then hit export. But if I were to play this game to, say, level 8, I have a whole lot of items, I have a whole lot of gold, I have a whole lot of abilities, and so on and so forth. When I go from Baldur's Gate 1 to Baldur's Gate 2, I can take some of those items and my experience and those sorts of things with me. But you can also do a certain amount of that for Baldur's Gate 1. In Baldur's Gate 1, it is possible to raise these stats. And for some of them, it's really hard to raise these stats at all. Some of them are a bit easier. But you can raise if you know where to look and how to do it, you can actually raise these stats. And then once you've raised the stats, you export the character. And then when you start the game again, you import the character. And that is how you can manually and very arduously, and after a very freaking long time, have a character start the game with 25 in every single stat. I do not recommend doing this. It is fundamentally easier to actually go into the game files and just go change stats. But it can be done. You absolutely can do that. Anyway, let's start showing you everything that's in this game. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the tab button, which shows you every object that is clickable and every character and their name. I cannot stress how much this makes your life so much easier. When the game was first released, that wasn't an option. Tab button didn't exist. So there are a whole bunch of things on the map that you will simply miss because you don't know it can be clicked on. Little secret locations that are already almost impossible to put the mouse on. Like right now, I can click on that and it gives me a bit of a description. But some things are just so tiny that you just couldn't see it. Even if you hovered your mouse in the right area, you might miss it. Tab actually lets you see these things, and it was a later addition to the game. The tutors are the tutorial. I am actually going to skip them for this because I am the tutorial.
I shall.
But for a start, let's go in here.
I shall.
So, first thing we're going to do is talk to this dude.
My hotel's as clean as an elven arse.
Unless people want, I'm not opposed to reading all of the dialogue that people say, but there is a lot of dialogue in this game, and I am not that good at voices. So I'll do it for now, but please feel free to tell me to stop. You can read on your own time if that is how you prefer me to do things, because there is a lot of dialogue. Well, hello there, young one. Come to visit your old pal Winthrop, have you? Well, don't forget the 10,000 gold piece book entrance fee, as per Candlekeep's custom, don't you know? 3 options. This is outrageous. What kind of a fool do you take me for? Stuff you're in and stuff your company. Ah, you always were the big kidder, Winthorpe. That gets funnier nearly every time I hear it. Well, perhaps not quite so often. I fear I do not have that kind of entry fee with me. I suppose I shall return when I do. Now, you can pick any of these, but you get the exact same response. Oh, just having a bit of fun with you, my friend. Them monks may be walking around with poles in their nethers, but you know you are always welcome in my sight. Gith-Run did well by you, he did. So, is there anything I can do for you? Some drinks, a room to sleep, or anything to buy? Sure, what do you have? Now, I mentioned in the previous stream, if you want to sleep anywhere in this game, which allows you to regain hit points and gain spells and that sort of thing, you either have to sleep in an inn, or you have to sleep in the outback, so not in a town or anything like that. If you take peasant accommodation, it's a really crap sleep, you don't get many hit points. If you go royal, you get a lot back. You can also get yourself drunk. It's not really worth it, it's just a money sink. But right now, this is the important thing. I don't need any of these well, I do need some armor actually. And I can't afford the splint mail or... hang on. No, I can't afford the split mail or the chain mail. So I'll just buy some studded leather for the time being. And that's it. Those are all my purchases at the moment. Now the reason I picked these is because these are the items I'm proficient in. Now, in theory, I could actually have gone through the map, gotten some gold, and bought the higher quality gear. But I can't really be bothered. I will, however, talk to all the people worth talking to around the place.
No time to chit-chat.
Step up to the heat, young one. You'll need a good fire to warm the chill stares of these monks. Most inhospitable they are. Isn't that so, lovey? Oh yes, darling. They are most standoffish. Alright. They lead a somewhat cloistered life here, so they are unaccustomed to many visitors. You are perhaps a bit colourful compared to what they are useful. Watch your tongue! This was my home for a good part of my life, and I'll not have you slighting them in their own keep. Oh, I would not let it concern you, my lady. Perhaps they are not used to wealth such as yours. You are quite wealthy, are you not? Bring a lot of expensive jewellery with you. Well, that's clearly the looking for something to steal line. Perhaps they have not been as welcome as they could have, but you are strangers in their home. So at this point, I should actually mention something about Candlekeep. So, it's run by monks. It's a fortress, lots of magical protections, lots and lots of magical protections, and then monks. Librarians, more librarians. Many of the monks are spellcasters. They're not necessarily monk class, they are monk as a profession. But one of the things about Candlekeep is that they have a very high entrance fee. In order to enter Candlekeep, you must provide a book that they do not have. And that is very hard in a library like this. In addition, you need a high-ranking wizard to vouch for you. So, not only do you need to provide them something that they don't have, and that is of value to their collection, but they need to... you need someone to give you a character reference, and that person has to be a high-ranking spellcaster. So actually getting into Candlekeep, if you're not from around here, is actually really hard to do. So these people must have provided something valuable to Candlekeep, and had some wizard vouch for them. So that's just something interesting there. Now, I am playing, for this campaign, an evil character. Doesn't mean I will pick all of the evil responses, or at least not the most evil responses. I'm going to roleplay a little bit for funsies. But I picked evil because there are some things in this game that you can only do if you're evil. Well, more in Baldur's Gate 2, that you can only do if you're evil. But there's not really the same restrictions on good. Good can do everything except certain evil things. Evil can do pretty much everything good does, and anything evil does. So, you know, there's that. Let's go for the clearly I'm trying to find out what you've got on you. I shouldn't answer that, lovely. Seems that this scoundrel might be trying to get a bit too familiar. Sizing up the potential loot, I should think. Best that you move along, lest the local constabulary gets involved. Ah, they saw right through me. A bit too obvious about that. There's...
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
There we go. At last I am in Candlekeep, where I've wanted to be for so long. But now I wander the rooms here, moody and sad. Oh, I think this is actually one of the little bits of extra content from one of the mods. Well, probably one of the unfinished business. Like, so one of the things that was not implemented in the original game, but they'd originally planned to be in the game. Alright, so you look very pale indeed. Aren't you feeling well? I had a terrible adventure, for me as well as for the man I love. That sounds terrible. Do you want to talk about it? You're Gorian's foster child, aren't you? Yes, I think I want to talk with you about it. Have you been to the infirmary? My fiancé is recovering there from the injuries he got in his last fight. No, I haven't spoken to him yet. He has an obvious injury. He lost an arm. Damn. But the wounds that are still troubling him are his memories of what happened during the fight, and the conditions under which he lost that arm. I am troubled by it too. You see, I cut off his arm. It was the only thing to do. I beg your pardon? That I don't understand. I'm definitely going to go with that, but however, you chop off the arm of your ex-fiancé, and you wonder why he doesn't understand. I don't think I can help you there. It's a fair response. You, a frail creature, proclaim to have cut off the arm of an adult man without him defending yourself? I surely don't believe that. Ah, the misogyny answer. Ha! How sweet. Is that some kind of courting ritual where you come from? Wow, there's a misogynist dancer and a racist dancer. Racist, sexist dancer, I love it. Love it in the worst possible way. I love that it's there. Anyway. We were on our way to Candlekeep when suddenly a portal started opening near us. Monsters came out and started attacking. It was horrible. Sir Tron defended us, and it looked as if he would win easily. Then one of the creatures bit into his arm, dragging him toward the portal. He lost his sword. There was only one possible way to save him, and I used it. Otherwise, he would be dead by now. Damn. It's a great pity he lost his arm, but you saved him nonetheless. Doesn't he feel thankful for that? That is horrible. So what now? Well, go and talk about it. You two and the matter is settled. I'll go with one. Seems nicer. No, it's not that easy. Sir Trun proposed to me, what seems a long, long time ago, and we went on this educational journey to Candlekeep. You have to understand, I am the daughter of a noble family, spelling, a grammatical error, and never touched any kind of weapon. His gaze upon me when he realized what happened. Forgive me, but I do not want to talk more about it. I need to be patient, and hope that he will overcome his feelings. Poor Sir Tron, he is so brave. He grimly tries to attribute any importance to the matter, but doesn't succeed in overcoming his feelings of horror. He is bound to his proposal to a woman he now fears, and is trying to convince himself it is nothing to worry about. I still see that look in his eyes. I decided not to go to the infirmary until someone brings me the news of his recovery, or until he approaches me himself. Alright, we have our first quest. Now this guy also gives a quest.
It's hard to find decent folk nowadays.
Darn coaster. Anyway, now Firebeard, I think there's actually lore about him outside of Baldur's Gate. I'm going to actually double check that. We will meet him again later in the game, so I'll let you know then. But I think that there is actually some lore about him outside of the game itself. It may only be from the book version of this game, although I'm almost certain he doesn't make an appearance in this game. Also, do not read the book versions of these games. Don't. Do not do it. Don't go near them with a 10-foot pole. They are horrible in so many ways. Not just because they don't even reflect the actual game itself, which understandable, but they are just terribly written. They are bad books. And the second one's even worse. Anyway. Firebeard Elvenhair. Obviously an elf. Ah, yes. I'm back within the hollowed halls of Candlekeep. With this iron crisis upon us, the trip from Baragost was more hazardous than I care to relate. You are Gorian's ward, aren't you? My, you have come into your own. If you would permit an old man jealous of youth to say so. I left an identify scroll with Teftoril in the inner grounds. You should be done examining it by now. So if you could fetch it for me, I'd be grateful. We have our second quest. Now, I showed you this in the previous game, but
Agreed.
there are things up here that you can actually open up, steal some money, but unless you are a very high level thief, this is about all you can get to. Now, I'm actually not going to open any of these. The rest of these three are locked. Now, I could try and bash them open, and I can definitely bash these two open. I probably can't bash that one open. But, if you're playing a thief, you get experience points whenever you pick a lock. Now, eventually, I'm going to come back here with a thief, and I'll get experience points for opening those locks. I'll probably be max level by then, judging how I'm probably going to play this game, but the point is I want to do it then.
Away
Dude here to
with
talk
you,
to.
beggar.
What? I certainly hope there is an explanation for this intrusion. Explain yourself! My apologies. I must have got the room numbers mixed up. Dreadfully sorry. A simple mistake and no cause for excitement. So what's your words, or I'll be forced to feed them to you? Explain myself. You are some pompous noble, and I am here to take your belongings. Straightforward enough. Just getting to know the neighbours. Who might you be? Now, I do not recommend picking these two. If I recall correctly, he summons the guards. The guards kill you! Not good. And then you get a reputation drop, and more guards will turn up to kill. Yeah, it's bad. Anyway. Yeah, who might you be? My name is Quincy. Beyond that is my own business, and none of your concern. Leave, lest I report your intrusion to the guards. Yep. Let's get the hell out of here. So, as a non-thief, not worth much, but that, I'll go back
I
up.
shall.
If you have high enough in open locks, which you really have to invest in character creation to get high enough in open locks, or you have to invest hard and level up before you leave here, in this box, which is the hardest one to open, there is a really, really, really valuable jewel. If you can get that, you can sell it for hundreds.
Agreed.
I think it might even be over 1,000 gold. And
Agreed.
you just start the game with a massive boost. A boost that's big enough for you to be able to
Agreed.
do things like go, oh no, I've lost a companion, I'm going to raise them from the dead, which is really freaking useful in the early game. Okay, third quest. Oh, hello, have you seen my copy of History of Halrua anywhere? You know how I can't stand the constant shuffling of arthritic feet up in the library? So I thought I'd get a bit of fresh air just east of here, and oh, I hate being so absent-minded. Please, if you find it, I really do need it back. Now, this is our third quest, and it's the easiest one to get to. But before we complete the quest, because that quest gets kind of completed by going over here, I'm going to go in here first. And it'll be the... Just enjoy.
Hello.
Oh goody. I've gone and found you first. You are the ward of Gorian, no doubt. I am? What can I do for you? I do not recognize you. Who are you and what are you doing here? Leave me be! I have pressing matters that I must attend to. Feel free to turn around and say if you want you're not going to have enough time to pick the dialogue option for me, but if you guys are like, I want you to be a pompous, arrogant arsehole, or I want you to pick the choices that are most evil, or no, I want you to be good, feel free to tell me what kind of personality you want me to play as. Anyway, I do not recognize you. Who are you and what are you doing here? Who I am is unimportant, but who you are is very much so. I apologize for this dirty bit of business, but I must seek your death. A pity, I know, but it would seem your head is worth quite an exceptional amount to me. I killed you myself, and I need not share credit with anyone. And now he attacks.
Face I will.
And I just instantly kill him. Now that's not just because I have reasonably high strength and whatever. No, he really is that freaking weak. He had less than 8 hit points. Like, yeah, he was that freaking weak.
Worry not.
Anyway, he has a dagger, which I can sell. And then there's everything in this room. Now, I don't have a thief, sod it. I'm just going to bust it open. Because in here is another dagger. And some money. Hammer. And nothing in there. And now, the other guy approaches us. I'm getting flashbacks to Avatar The Last Airbender for some reason. Anyway, Mazrik, you cut yourself above the brow there. What is wrong, child? Something in your eyes tells me that something is very wrong indeed. Oh, Pada, there was a man in there. He smelled like the stables, and he tried to kill me. It was horrible. Or, it's nothing, Prada. One of the cats didn't like me petting it. I'm alright, really. I'm gonna go with 1, because I think the response is identical both ways, but if it's different, the real difference is here. Hurry then, child. Equip yourself at the inn and go join Gorion on the steps of the library. I had a sense something like this might happen. Mysterious.
I shall.
Anyway,
What do you need?
talk to this dude. Dreppen. Phidia left one of her books in here again. It's in the hay there beside the cow. If you could run it over to her and back, I've got some plans for you. Alright, in the hay. There's our book. Now, I'm going to give you guys the offer. I am going to be doing a lot of reading of these books. Because, sod it, I'm going to read all of the lore. And I love that this game has the books with lore in it. Again, I think it's one of the first games to actually do this sort of thing. But, while I am going to read this one now, in future, I don't have to read them right away. I can I may actually very well just at some point just go, I'm going to buy a whole lot of books. And we'll just spend a session doing a reading time, reading some of the books. So, I don't think I've ever read the books. Yeah, they're just lore. They're pretty much only lore. So actually, you know what? I am actually going to save it for some reading time because this one is the history of Halrua, and if I, with a little bit of extra time, I can actually import more lore. I can just quickly refresh my memory on certain things, but, Halrua is a fascinating location. There's not a lot written about it. For some, there's not a lot. There are, I think, 3 books, novels set in Halrua. And then there's 1 campaign supplement, I think, from 2nd edition, and that campaign supplement has pretty much been everything between 2nd edition and 5th edition. Even the 3rd edition stuff is literally just, it's basically just copy-pasted from the 2nd edition book. So, Halrua is one of those locations which actually does have some rich depth to it, but just hasn't been expanded on. So if you've played D&D in the last, 15 years, you probably have barely encountered Halrua. But there's a lot to it, and a decent amount of it actually you can learn from this game.
Hello there.
My book! Oh, you remind me of Gorion when you grin like that. Raising you has been hard on him, I know, but he says it's a toil of love, a toil of destiny even. You must be a very special child indeed to draw such praise from a man of his silent nature. Here, take this little gem of mine. Maybe Winthorpe will give you a little something for it. Now, we've lost the book, as you can see. We lost the book, but we gained the gem. But that book is fairly common. I can pick it up later, I can buy it later. Hell, I can even pick it up later when we visit the library. There's a whole lot of books in there. And I got 50 experience points for returning a book. How nice. I think I got more experience points for returning a book than I did for killing a dude.
What do you need?
Nice day, ain't it? Too bad Nessa here ain't enjoying it, though. Her being sick and all. I need to go one of them potions of antidote off Hell. He stayed up drinking last night and got hauled out of bed to man the gates early this morning. So I bet he's got a few of them lying around somewhere. Yep. Potions of antidote work for hangovers. Nope. Tried to talk to the cow, but got nothing. Cow shunning me. Now the priest doesn't give me anything, but I'll show him so that you can actually see what the value of priests in this game. I was wondering what you have at this Temple of Wisdom. Okay, so reputation. I know I mentioned it in the previous video. I don't think I mentioned it in this one. In this game, you have a thing called reputation. As your reputation goes up, good characters like you more, evil characters like you less, and may even leave the party. But merchants will sell things to you for less because you have a good reputation. The inverse is true if you have a bad reputation. Now, you can get a good reputation by doing good deeds, but you can also get it by making donations to the church. Now, at low reputation, like 10 or 11, you only need to put like a couple hundred gold in there to get a boost. Once you start hitting like, I think about 17 or 18 reputation, you need to start putting in 2,000 or 2,500 gold in order to get to the next level. But if you want to have a high reputation or you need a boost to your reputation because you killed someone you didn't mean to and you got a reputation penalty or something, if you need a high reputation, this is the fastest way to build up your reputation. It just costs money. But there are other things that clerics give you, that priests gives you. First off, you can pay for their healing services, which, especially in Baldur's Gate 1, not so much in Baldur's Gate 2, but it's all the way through Baldur's Gate 1, it's pretty much the only way you can access Raise Dead. I think there's 2 companions in the entire game who can learn Raise Dead. I'm not even 100% certain of that. I have to double check that. But I think there's only 2 in this game. There's Branwen, who is a who is a pure cleric, and Feldor, who is an evil druid who actually is the most powerful healer in the game. And I'm pretty sure she does get raised. I'm certain she gets raised dead. I'm not actually certain that Branwen does. Or it's the other way around. Whatever. One or both of them gets raised dead. Now, I actually plan to take Feldor by the end of the game, but I'm going to show you all of the companions as we go through the game. But for most of the game, this is the only way, if your characters die, this is the only way to get them back, is by spending $100 to raise them from the dead. So that's a big thing. They often also sell not very much and not necessarily very useful items, like potions of healing are quite useful, especially in Baldur's Gate 1. Later games, not so much, especially as you start getting healing spells and they do the job for you. Some priests have a decent range, most don't. Most, it's something like this. But the last thing they do is they identify items. It usually costs about $100 to identify an item. I have nothing that needs identifying. When I find something that needs identifying, I'll show you what that looks like. It just comes up as blue. But that's what they're good for. Now, what I was saying about reputation earlier, my reputation is 9. Now, the reason my reputation is 9 is because my alignment, my character's alignment, is actually set to evil. There it is, neutral evil. So I actually have a lower than average is 10, reputation at the start of the game. But my alignment is not a restriction on reputation. I can have 20 reputation as a neutral evil character. I call it playing the long game. Alright. Let's continue on. Now, something to be aware of, which most people aren't aware of, so I'm just going to show you right now. Now, if I hit the tab button, you will see, like over here, doors are highlighted. This is not always true. For example, both of these buildings here can be entered into. Or at least, so this one, not at the moment. You have to unlock this building, but it unlocks automatically once you actually get close. But over here, as you can see, it doesn't, if I hit the tab button, it doesn't show me a door. But that's because there's nothing to click on. There's no door to click on. But if I move the character onto that space, he will go inside. This is the infirmary. So it is actually very easy, and a lot of first-time players completely miss this building because they just don't know that. And there's a lot of buildings in the game that first-time players just absolutely miss because of that fact. Oh, there's one other thing, and I hadn't done it up till now, that I absolutely need to show you. Customize. This is one of the most important things to do when playing Baldur's Gate. Now, I'm going to have more options than you will, but even in the base game, you need to do this. Go to script. And then you pick how your character behaves when you are not telling them precisely what to do. So you can do things like go, okay, I'm going to play a fighter who only uses their ranged weapons whenever they can. You may have them equipped with, sword and shield and a bow, but given the opportunity, they will use the bow until they are attacked in melee combat, and then they will switch. Conversely, you can decide to have a character play defensive, or you can have a character play very aggressive. You can choose the wizard ones, which they cast spells automatically. You don't have to tell them to cast spells. They will pick the best spell that the AI chooses in that situation, and they will cast it. So you can choose them to focus on defensive spells, to focus on highly aggressive damaging spells, and you can even have your wizard cast spells and charge into combat. Thief is a really good one. Thief Controlled is probably the best one if you're playing a thief, because he she automatically makes uses of thief skills like flying traps and hiding in the shadows whenever you're not in combat. Just automatically does it. You don't have to tell the thief, you don't have to tell them to engage their thief skills. They do it automatically. So this is so incredibly important. I know so many people who've played this game a lot and don't even know that this is a thing. And it just changes the entire way that the game plays out. Because if you do something like have none, which, it's normally set to standard, which is they just respond to them being attacked with whatever they happen to have equipped at the time. But that is not always the best thing, because you can have characters that stand around doing nothing. They don't necessarily go after the enemy if the enemy flees. If they're being attacked from range, they don't switch. There's so many things. And of course, mages, wizards do not cast spells under the standard thing. So definitely do this. Now, I'm actually going to pick fighter aggressive, because I am playing a fighter and I want them to be very aggressive. Also, biography. So this actually tells you a bit of the plot that, again, not a lot of people miss because they never look at this section. Drawn to the clamour of the forge at an early age, you have become quite skillful working for the monks of the keep, and have kept them supplied with whatever tools are occasionally required. This first bit is based around your class. Inspired by your foster father's tales of ironclad heroes, however, you would much rather swing a blade than a smithy's hammer. One of the Watchers has been kind enough to take you under her wing, and has trained you in the basics of the deadly arts. You yearn to leave the safe walls of your library home and venture forth along the tradeway, a trusty weapon of your side. Now, the next bit is the important bit. You know little of how you came to be a ward of Gorion, but over the years you have gleaned something of your mother's tale from his vague allusions and from the words he sometimes uttered in tear-filled sleep. She was a human from Silvery Moon, or a Githyanki in my case, and a friend of his for many seasons. As you have no memory of her, nor any keepsakes to remind you of her existence, you have come to believe that she died while giving birth to you. Perhaps it was the pain of such a parting that led Gorion to cloister himself within the narrow halls of Candlekeep and raise you as his own. Of your father, you have learned nothing. Now, I believe that this got one of the mods that I installed modified this slightly. In fact, in particular, I think this section was modified, but the biography thing is a thing. And every single character, every single companion in the game actually has a biography like this. So it's a great way to learn about the characters and learn a little bit about the world. But again, it's one of those things that people miss. In addition, you can clear it and you can write your own damn biography if you want. This is where I can change my appearance, so my whatever, my sounds, or like those sorts of things. Anyway, I actually did change my appearance. No! There we go. That one. Might have heart attack there. Anyway, let's talk to this dude. Hey there, Mazurek. I see you're up early this day. Well, your father Brian has asked me a strange favour. Seems like he wants you to learn some fighting and asked me to be the teacher. So I hope you brought your staff with you. No, I brought a freaking flail. I came prepared. Hostile creatures have red circles under their feet. Oh yeah, this is part of the overall tutorial thing. So don't really need to read that. You've already seen it, to be frank. During our fight, I'm going to bring a little surprise on you. Remember, you can press the space bar at any time and pause the game. I will show you that. It's incredibly important and incredibly useful, especially if you're a spellcaster. So, pause. I can issue commands here. I can tell, if I could cast spells, I would use this time to tell it what spells to cast or whatever. But that's the surprise he was referring to. He's about to have an artist shoot the crap out of me. I sworn I put script to aggressive. I don't know why it didn't do that. That's really odd. Maybe one of my mods disabled it or something. Anyway, you could, especially after Eric started firing those arrows at you.
It is done.
Now, it is possible to do enough damage to kill those dudes, but very unlikely. Anyway, let's kill some rats. Alright, watch this. Those of you who watched my previous stream will notice that in the time I've killed all of these rats, I had done like 10 points of damage in the previous ones and not even gotten close to killing one of them. There are also some cats in this room, which, by the way, where are they? Oh, there's one. I can kill the cats! And gain an experience point. Yeah, I'm a horrible person. What? I'm evil. Where's the other cat? There you are. Hi, kitty. Dead kitty! And there's nothing in there. This dude. Ah, yes! Kill them like that! They are a glorious battle unlike any this world has ever seen. Here's 5 gold pieces. Don't spend it all in one place. By the way, anybody listening, if somebody wants to join me in these and do voices, please do. I am sure people are going to get sick, if they aren't already, of my voice all of the time and my crappy voice acting, so please feel absolutely free to jump in and just be like, yeah, sure, I'll do some voices, let's have some fun with it. Alan? Yes, this is Alan. Hello, dubious by name. You seem very dubious already. Let's chat to Hull. This is the guy we want for the antidote. What race class did you make? So I explained this at the start of the video, but basically, I actually modified my race. I am playing a Gith-Yankee. This is normally not at all allowed in the game, but I jumped into the files, messed with it a little bit, and now I'm playing a Gith-Yankee. And I'm doing this because Baldur's Gate 3 has 2 of my favourite races front and centre, which is Mind Flayers and Gith-Yankee. A while ago, I did and partway recorded a playthrough of me playing as a Mind Flayer. I only got a couple hours into that game before the computer I was playing on died and I lost the save file, but those videos are already on my YouTube account. So, but I played it that way. This time I'm going to do a Gith-Yankee, so this is a homage kind of to Baldur's Gate 3 coming out, which I am quite excited for. I don't know if I'll enjoy the gameplay itself, because I've played Divinity 1, not Divinity 2, and Divinity 1 didn't really grab me mechanics-wise. Divinity 2, on the other hand, may be a very different story, and I hear Baldur's Gate 3 is going to be much more like Divinity 2. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with Baldur's Gate 3. They, like, Mind Flayers, Gith-Yankee, I love those races so much. So I'm really looking forward to it. Anyway. What race do... they respond to me as human. As human, specifically. Hey, kid. I woke late this morning and left my sword in the barracks before going on duty. If you want to get it for me, it's in the chest at the foot of my bed, right side of the barracks. Quick now, before the gate warden catches me without it. You'll also find an antidote in there. I think Drappen needs one for old Nessa. Alright. That's good to know.
Our rules
this guy.
are very strict.
Gate warden, soon be gone, will ye? Aye, G'day and asked me to teach you a bit about the fine arts of mass combat before you leave. Can I pique your interest in it, Mazrik? Yes, I'd appreciate that. Good then, child. There's one thing to maintain control of yourself in the heat of battle, there's quite another to maintain the authority of your group. So this is basically the bit where you learn how to control 6 characters instead of 1. So this is how that gets unlocked. Before it wasn't, now it is. It's literally just that guy that comes and talks to you and now it's unlocked. President, the Gate Warden asked me to prepare a little going away party for you. This is just tutorial stuff, but I get some XP here, so we're going to play through it.
Certainly.
So now I have control of 6 characters. Now, I can just tell them all to attack, but I can also pause, tell them to cast spells, like Magic Missile here, whatever. Anyway, this is pretty much a dead set win. Now, I'm pretty certain, so you can see me, but select all of them. I'm pretty certain only the first wave gives experience. I'll go for the second wave as well. Oh no, the first wave doesn't even give experience in the Enhanced Edition. In the original, it gives you experience for the first wave only. But I think I've had enough, just take me outside. Now, you can steal all of their items, but they disappear as soon as you leave. Like, whatever you get in this room, you can't take out with you. So, all of those items that they previously possessed, that's what has been lost.
Indeed.
Anyway, here's the infirmary, so let's go inside. Now, I've not done this quest before, as I said, this is
Certainly.
A mod-related quest. And it's one of the, I think it's one of the unfinished business mods, so original intended content, but yeah.
Yes?
What do you want? Please let me rest. As you can see, I'm injured. Are you Sir Tron? I talked with your fiancée. Pauline doesn't feel well at all. Let's go with that. I know, and it tortures me that I am quite incapable of helping her. It is like I am paralyzed. My injury is no reason for my behavior towards her. I fell in love with a beautiful young maiden and proposed to her. And now, she transformed into a monster? She's a werewolf! Does it seem as if the whole world's gone crazy, or you can't handle the thought she might be stronger than you? I'm going to be nice and try and resolve this positively. In a way, yes. Since she clearly talked to you, she's already talked to you, it won't hurt if I do so too. Actually, I feel a great urge to talk about this with someone who would care to listen. We got into an unexpected fight. Everything was going well, then all of a sudden one of the creatures sunk its teeth into my arm. I wasn't able to free myself and it was dragging me toward the portal. There was a pain at my shoulder, and next thing I knew I was lying in front of the portal, watching it close behind the last of the monsters. Linda was standing beside me, pale as a ghost, my sword in her hands. She saved my life the only way it was possible in that moment, by chopping off my arm, which is really freaking impressive with a sword, let me tell you. An axe? Yeah, you can do sword? That's impressive. I am not talking about the loss of my arm. That was lost the moment the monster bit into it. What I mean... What bothers you is her sudden foresight and prowess. Not only did she understand the only way to save you, she also did in what must have been a time frame of mere seconds. And that all despite the fact that she is only the daughter of a noble house. That's the girl power response there, I suppose. You have a problem with the fact she mutilated you, don't you? How dare she chop off the arm of her fiancé? You can't get over the fact that your fighting prowess wasn't enough to save you both, so she needed to step in, am I right? By the way, how dare she interfere with your business? It had been your time to die, she should have prepared her for mourning. Should not have gone around chopping off arms. Well, I guess it's up to you to find out, I'm afraid. Really? There's no... I'm traumatized at the idea that this person I wanted to preserve the innocence of war from has now experienced this? That like... I feel like there should be a... I am terrified that she has PTSD response. Guess not. I guess we're going for the girl power response. Yes, that's it. That is what keeps troubling me. She is completely inexperienced if it comes to fighting, yet she acts like a long-established knight. I couldn't have done it better had I been in her position. The sensible detachment she showed by cutting off another's arm, if it was the only way to save him, how much experience must one gain? How many friends must one lose before developing this insight? She just did it when it was necessary. My poor Linda. Surely she is terribly frightened, but how should I confront her after being so distant towards her? All she did was save me. First thing you should do is go talk to her. You should seek communication with Linda. It would help you both if you could talk about it. That one. In an awkward situation, maybe you should find her a nice present. There is only one possibility. Linda has to learn how to fight, so you will have to teach her. Take her as your squire. It's not a bad one, actually. I can't think of anything. You'll have to stay with that problem for yourself, I'm afraid. Not my business. Give her pizza first. Nice. Why do you like the GIF, Alan? Look, I'll get through this stage of the game. We're not going to encounter the Gith in Baldur's Gate 1. They don't make an appearance. I don't think Mind Flayers do either. No. I don't believe Mind Flayers do at all in Baldur's Gate 1. But both of them make appearances in Baldur's Gate 2. But I'll explain my love of the Gith at least once we're out of the tutorial version. The opening phase of the game. We tried talking, but it didn't work. No, I have to bring something with me when I go. If I could only think of something appropriate. Pizza? You're going to take her on as your squire. I beg your pardon? That is absurd. She is a young maiden, innocent and frail. And she shows the fighting prowess of an experienced knight. There's more to your fiancé than you thought, Gith-Run. And she chopped your arm off with one hit. These things don't go together, do they? Alright, maybe the idea wasn't too good. Think about it. Yeah, no, there's more than you thought. Wait, I see what you mean. It's hidden inside her, isn't it? The gift shows differently in different people. Some know them early childhood, where their path will lead. For others, the revelation comes all of a sudden, at a great surprise. And more importantly, this is the Forgotten Realms. Lots of things try and kill you in the Forgotten Realms. If you don't know how to swing a sword, you're probably dead. Yes, seems the only way to go forward and leave this horrible memory behind us. She made the first step onto this path. To expect her to return to her former life would be cruel and unrealistic. I will go to her now. I'll be approaching her with an unusual present for a woman of her origin. My sword. My body recovered a long time ago. It was my mind that fell injured and wouldn't come to rest. You dragged me out of my thoughts of despair, and I thank you deeply. We are in your debt. Now we'll go to her. I am eager to see how she will react. Is she really ready for this? I am also bothered as to what I will tell her parents, who imagine their daughter as on an educational journey in Candlekeep. Yeah, some education. Farewell. In case we don't meet again, may Tyr protect you. Priest of Ogmar.
These walls.
So you're sick? You look rather healthy to me.
world's
You never can
knowledge.
tell. You need any potions or such things? Yeah, sure. And he just gives you a free potion. So that's the benefit of coming here. Now this is locked, but if I wait for him to walk away, in theory he will walk away. Ah, there's a reader there. So what monks are known as readers.
No, excuse me, but I'm late for my classes.
He doesn't give us much of dialogue. I don't think he's gonna move. I'm pretty sure in the original version of the game he did move and walk around, but doesn't look like he does now.
Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Ah, Linda's here. Ah, here you are. I deeply wanted to thank you. Tron came to me and he offered me the opportunity to become his squire. First I thought he'd lost his mind completely. When he kneeled down and handed over his sword, he told me it was you who made him understand, and I see what he means. It's the only way to overcome this nightmare. It will help us both to accept what happened. Maybe he will fall in love with his fighting squire, just as he fell in love with the maiden once. Maybe, for now, he has a task as a knight, as do I as a squire. May Lathander, one of the gods, bless you with all his power. Farewell. Okay, Lathander. Ah, shit. I don't specifically remember Lathander as a god. I can't actually recall Lathander's portfolio specifically. Walking is money. Ilmater is the god of, we suffer so that everybody else doesn't have to. Lathander, I think, is the general god of be a nice person, damn it. But I can't remember right this second. I will come back in a future stream and talk about Lathander. Dawn and Renewal. Thank you. Okay, so Lathander is essentially god of the sun, god of the morning. I think there's some money in here. No, maybe the money's in here. Yes. Is the god of doing good, specifically opposed to undead. There's a lot more to Lathander. I'll do a quick read of the god of Lathander between sessions, and give you a better rundown sometime when we visit one of Lathander's churches. Anyway, there. You're Graham's little whelp, aren't you? Yeah, you match the description. You don't look so dangerous to me. I'm his child, that I am. What business is that of yours? I'm going with that one. I'll make it my business if I please. Just thought I'd have a look at you for myself before I put a blade down your gullet. Someone seems to think you're trolls, so I guess I'm gonna use your head for a ticket out of the gutter. I'm just a little street trash hit, they say, but I'll show 'em. Now, I'm gonna show you. When I hit. There we go.
Indeed.
There's a nice dagger. Barrel with nothing in it, and there's nothing else in this room. You welcome, your goddaughter says hello. Oh, hello!
Something on your mind?
Karen, I heard shouting, Mazarek. Are you alright? He's dead, whoever he was. He lunged at me with a knife. What's happening to this place? Or, it's better you don't ask questions, Karen. You have instructed and inspired me throughout my childhood. Your heart would break to see what just happened here. Yes, screw that. Dude's dead. It's not this place, child. It's you they're after. Dun dun dun! Brian is waiting on the steps to the central library and wants you to go to him as soon as you have bought what you need at the inn. Oh, Mazarek, I have been your tutor for so many years, and only in this moment have I come to doubt that my teachings have been enough. Go to Gorion, child. It is safe for you here no longer. Now, I believe I may have mentioned it earlier. Gorion is currently over here, or I may have mentioned in a previous stream. When you start the game, it is entirely possible to just go straight from here to Gorion, talk to him, and then leave. And you can skip all of this. But, I want to show you everything in this game, so you're getting to see pretty much everything in this game. Except all these damn tutors floating around because they're freaking boring. They literally just explain, there are circles under people's feet. If you right-click on your portrait, you open up the inventory. Things like that. So... now, don't open these, it summons the guards, but this one you can open just fine. But first we'll talk to this dude. Hey, it's Neverwinter Nights thing. Anyway, what a mead-filled night. That hull is just too much. Poor sap had to go man the gate this morning too. I don't know how he does it. What can I do for you anyway? Yeah, the mead would explain why Hull forgot to put his sword on this morning. He sent me to fetch it for him. Sure. It should be in the chest over against the wall right there. So, we get that, but then, you want to talk to him again.
I should have joined the army.
I was just wondering if you had any errands I could run. Errands? Yeah, actually. I need a quarrel of crossbow bolts. You could get some off Winthrop at the inn. I'll reimburse you. Oh, very well. There'll be a few coins in it for you too, so you can stop giving me that look. So, we get a quest. The other dude's just a random guardsman, so he offers nothing. Now, this is the part where we do a massive circuit. So, we're going to walk all the way back up here. I'm going to show you the interior of here as well. Like, I'll go in here, I'll do a walk around, and then we'll go and start resolving a bunch of these quests. Tutor, Watcher, aka Random Guardsman. Alright, now these guys are interesting. Right now they don't mean much. But what they're doing is they're, as you can hear, they're currently chanting prophecies. So saith the wise Orlando. Orlando, like in the Forgotten Realms lore, there's two stories regarding the founding of Candlekeep. One is it existed for a very long time, and then this guy Orlando showed up, and after that, like, he made his prophecies, wrote them down, and after he came here, it became the massive library fortress it is. Orlando started it, and he started it with his prophecies. The other story, which is just a rumor, is that Orlando built Candlekeep. Like, there was nothing here before. He came here and he freaking made the thing. That is not true. There's a bunch of things, like, in the lore, there's a bunch of things saying, yes, Candlekeep did predate Orlando arriving here. There were already monks here. And it may even have, like, been a bit of a library before Orlando ever arrived. And it may have been, like, Orlando came here because it was already a library. But it really built up in fame after Orlando came here because he told a whole bunch of prophecies, all of which came true. He's basically the Nostradamus, but it worked, of the Forgotten Realms. But what they're chanting right now is a bunch of different prophecies, one of which is actually relevant to us. You know, the text is there. I'm not going to quite go through all of them. Yeah, they're just chanting some of Orlando's prophecies. Now, there's Teth Coral. You may remember I needed to pick up a scroll from him. Firebear has sent you to me, hasn't he? Very well. Return this scroll to him. But then you must hurry and speak with Gorion. He is waiting for you on the steps of the Central Library. I assure you, child, it is a matter of greatest urgency. And then there's one other person we need to talk to here, and that's this girl. I'm surprised that stuffy old Gorion let you away from your studies and chores. That old fiddle-faddle. I snuck off too. Old Puffguts Winthrop was looking for me. But I've got all day to do his chores. Do you have time for a story today? No, I can tell you don't. What have you been up to? So this is Winthorpe's child. That's, you know, and she's one of the characters that we can actually take with us further on into the game. So she's a companion. Anyway, I'm afraid I cannot chat today. My foster father wishes to prepare me for a journey. I'm sorry, but I'm not to tell anybody what I'm doing. Leave me be! Let's be reasonably nice. Little one, I'm not much younger than you, though you sure got tall fast. Relatively, anyway. A journey, eh? I never get to travel. Wish I could go with you. Yep, I really wish I could. Yes, ma'am, really do. Alright, I get the message. I'll ask if you can go with us. Oh, don't be silly. Gorion would never even let you finish the sentence, especially after what that letter of his said. Did I say that? No, of course I didn't. Never saw no letter. Nope, I'll just get back to work now. You'd better go. Gorion is waiting. So because of her position there, you have to talk to her before you talk to Gorion. Now, we're not going to talk to Gorion now. We're going to go back up here and start resolving some of these quests. And while we walk, I'm going to drink some of my coffee. Have you been doing any tabletop role-playing? Not over the last few months. I considered doing some online stuff.
My hotel's as clean
blah,
as
blah,
an open
blah.
arse.
by acquiring crossbow bolts. I consider doing some online stuff, and I'm actually going to start some. I'm going to be joining a Vampire the Masquerade role-playing game on Friday. Rags to Riches, what is the magic system like for that? Look, I think it's really good. Second edition, which is when I'll be releasing the magic rules in full, I think that they're pretty good. It's very modular, and it kind of, like, it's one of those things where I try and make it make sense, so there's almost science behind the magic. But second edition isn't finished yet, so the magic system isn't officially finished yet. But it's much more utility grounded. It's not like magic in the Rags to Riches role-playing system is not about... Oh, Rags to Riches is my role-playing system. I designed it. I wrote it. First edition was published in 2016. Second edition will hopefully be out by the end of this year. No promises. Currently we're working on guns and, like, not just medieval stuff, but everything up to modern-day firearms and that sort of thing. So I'm working on that. I'm designing it to be the most accurate to reality role-playing system that exists on the market at the moment. So I'm putting a lot of effort into learning ballistics maths and that sort of thing, and getting help from people who know better than me. Anyway, I am glad to see that age has not hardened your heart towards an old man such as myself. I'll take all your identify scrolls. I have a good use for those types of scrolls. Here, allow me to cast a little spell on you. It will protect you from any evil you might meet tonight. So, if I'd done this quest first, that would have given me a boost against those guys that I had to fight. In fact, everybody that I had to fight, except maybe the cats, it would have given me a boost against them. But chances are that spell is actually going to wear off while I walk around here and finish up the remaining quests. But cool glowy effect for the meantime anyway. Heh, you're a wonder you are. Stick with me and we'll go far. Yeah, his dialogue doesn't really matter. It's fun. He does tell us about the metal armor bandits out there would assume kill you as get taken off your back. The Iron Crisis business. So he actually does impart some early lore stuff, essentially, that there is an Iron Crisis, that there are bandits roaming and all that sort of thing. Now let's talk to this guy. Like, yeah, sweet time, didn't you? Grime's a fool for trying to bring you up right, and you can tell him I said so too. If I didn't know any better, I'd say this whole Iron Crisis is the result of twerps like you wandering off with people's swords. Here's 10 gold pieces. Now get out of here. I'm on duty. As you can see, they're kind of hammering the Iron Crisis thing. Like, if you couldn't tell, it's the plot. But it's also, like, it's a big deal, the Iron Crisis. You'll see how big of a deal it is as the game progresses. So it really does make sense that everybody's talking about it right now. This is the rumor mill at work. Anyway, let's talk to this guy, give him his crossbow bolts. And he gave me $10. Isn't that nice of him?
It is done.
Alright. That is everything. That is everything in this area, to all the little quests, all of the experience. The only thing left that I could do is go sell some items, which I probably should have done. But it doesn't really matter that much.
I am very proud of you, as I am sure
Oh, shut up. I've already talked to you. Alright, let's talk to Gith-Run.
My child, I am glad I have found you.
Send him for 350. Hey, this is very unnerving. I know, but you must trust me. It's very important that you pack your possessions so that we may leave Candlekeep immediately. Hurry, for there is no time to carry. The keep is well protected, but not invulnerable. I'm ready to go. Just wait a bit longer. Please, where are we going? What could possibly harm us here? This place is a fortress and guarded beyond measure. So bloody true, but it is important. What should I bring with me on this journey? If you just give me some clues to what I will need, this is probably the best one. Candlekeep is indeed a formidable obstacle for ne'er-do-wells, but it is not insurmountable, no matter how thick the mesh. At least one mosquito always finds its way through, which is in fact what has happened. Gorion, it's not quite spoilerific because we don't specifically learn this during the course of gameplay, but he spots something out of place here, realizes that it is a threat, realizes what the threat is, and it's just like, nope, we gotta get out of here. So a mosquito has actually gotten through and he's realized it. No, my child, we must leave as soon as possible, for our safety and for that of our friends here. What should I bring? Whatever. I'm ready to go right now. Let's just move along.
Listen carefully. If we ever become separated, it is imperative that you make your way to the friendly Arm Inn. There you will meet Khalid and Jahira. They have long been my friends, and you can trust them. Let's have a time. The night can only get worse, so we must find shelter soon. Don't worry. Explain everything as soon as there is time.
Spoiler, he won't.
Wait, there is something wrong. We are in an ambush. Prepare yourself.
You've accepted for it, old man. You know I am here. Hand over your ward and no one will be hurt. If you resist, it shall be a waste of your life.
What ward? What ward? Wait, what's me? Why me?
You're a fool if you believe I would trust your benevolence. Step aside and you and your lackeys will be unhurt.
I'm sorry that you feel that way, old man.
Alright, so there's something interesting here in terms of lore that is not quite reflected in the game. And I love the paradox of it, but I'll explain it after.
Get out of here.
The dawn is especially cruel this morning. You awake with the realization that you have not been living some horrible dream. Ambushed, you saw Gorion cut down before your eyes, and even his powerful magic could not stop the onslaught. It was his wish that you flee, but that does not remove the feeling of helplessness that now overwhelms you. Hand over your ward, the armored fiend had said. He was after you and you alone, but why? If only Gorion had given some clue. But now you are alone and lost. Candlekeep is near, but you will find no quarter there. The readers pay for their serenity with rather draconian entry rules, and without Gorion's influence, their doors will remain closed. You will not last long on your own with your meager equipment. Perhaps you can get some help from the friends Gorion mentioned, the ones at the Friendly Arm.
So yeah, remember what I was saying about, you need a book and a wizard to vouch for you? They won't let us back in. We can try, but they won't let us back in.
Hey, it's me, Emmeline.
Alright, I'm supposed to read this out to you guys. Sorry. Sorry I followed you, but I never get out of Candlekeep, and those monks are such a bore. Never any decent coin in their pockets, neither. Yeah, she's a thief. I saw Gorion, and I am so sorry. Kind of figured something bad might happen to you out here. How could you have known? Gorion did not even tell me. I don't want to look over my shoulder as I travel. Take your nosy self back to the keep before Winthrop sees you're gone. If we pick that, we don't get to take her as a companion. We want her as a companion. Something I didn't mention earlier is you need a thief in this game. Like, 100%. If you want a thief, you need a thief. She is the first thief you get access to, and one of the best ones in the game. Yeah, freaking take her. I accidentally read a letter on his desk the other day. Can't remember exactly what it said, but he might still have it. Might be on his body. Anyway, I'm not going to let you wander around here all alone. Don't let a friend down. No, ma'am. Stick with you until I say otherwise, I will. And now we have our first official companion. Alright, so, one thing in this game is that you level up differently. See, I've got some experience, she doesn't. But you'll notice the experience she needs to her next level is 1241, and mine is 1503. That's because I'm a fighter and she is a thief. Each different class actually has different amounts of experience in order to level up. Druids level up the fastest until they hit about level 14, I think it is. And then it's just like, I'm level 14! Everybody else is nearly level 20. Oh, now I'm level 15. Thieves are the next fastest, and they are consistently the fastest for the entire freaking game. Which makes them really good. Like, I'm dual classing. The plan is to go from fighter into thief. But usually, if you're going for power gaming, going from thief into fighter, or even better, thief into mage, is much better, because you can get a very high level of thief with almost no loss to your spell casting or almost no loss to your combat skills. In fact, depending on what you do as a thief, you can actually get better combat skills by combining the 12 plus levels of thief and the 39 levels of fighter or 39 levels of mage. So, wow, your constitution and dexterity. Yes, it's because I'm a Gith Yankee. I used to try and make my player characters an exact copy of Imoen, and I'd call the same two Imoens. Nice! To be fair, I was 7 at the time. Still nice. If only you were a necromancer to use his body. Oh, yeah, that would be so cool. But speaking of his body, so we need to go up here and find the ladder that's on his person. But here's where a bit of lore in the game that you just witnessed actually differ a bit. So, you just saw Gorion, who was a wizard, as you saw with the casting of his spells, kill a few guys, but get his ass handed to him. Killed by a fighter and his companion, singular in the end, but companions in total. Thing is, in the lore, Gorion is like a level 20 plus wizard. He is incredibly powerful. But in the game, he's only level 8. And it's really interesting because mechanically, he's not very powerful. He doesn't have that many spells. The spells that he can cast are really quite low level overall. But the story behind him, what he's capable of, what we learn about him, at this point in the Forgotten Realms timeline, he's one of the top tier wizards in the Forgotten Realms at the moment. He's not on the top of his game, but he's up there. So it's really that fascinating, discrepancy between lore and mechanics. I love it. I find it cool. To be fair, that's probably a lot of nostalgia talking. But, yeah, so one of the areas where lore and mechanics don't necessarily come together. Now, I'm going to save this. Now, it is, 12:37. So we've got about 20 minutes left until normally I would pack up and stop playing. It would be the end of the stream. I'm not opposed to playing for longer if people would like me to play for longer. But what I want to cover now is... So, this map is the entire area map. Now, if I go to the world map, there's Candlekeep. These are other locations. Unlike more modern games, unless you've played something like Pillars of Eternity, basically, this map area can be fully explored, and then at each of the sides, I can click on it to unlock another section of the map, which if I go east at the moment, it'll unlock another section, and eventually it'll unlock those two. If I go west, it will actually unlock that one. Technically, that's not unlocked at the moment. I have to actually go west to unlock it. But the thing is that these maps are quite expansive. They have monsters in them. They have mini quests in them. They have companions who decide to talk to you. This is what happens when you speed things up. All right. So Mazarek, how are you doing? I'm fine. Thanks for asking. I've been better. Do you have something on your mind? Don't bother me now. Still can't believe he's dead. I'm gonna go with number 2. I've been better. Not really. I was wondering how you're feeling. Seeing if you were okay and all. You don't talk much lately. All quiet and stuff. Ryan is dead. Mysterious assassins are after me, and I still can't. I can't even start imagining how to survive another day. It all happened so suddenly. I've a lot on my mind. You're always the talkative one. I'm more the silent type. Remember? Yeah. Let's go with the first one. I'd hate to see this eat away at you. We'll get him, you know. That guy, whoever he was, who killed your dad, we'll find out who he is and pay him back good. And don't you think of ditching me either. I know what I'm doing and I'm in this as much as you. I like Gorion and you're my best friend. I'm your best friend too. Whether you know it or not. You can count on me and don't you forget it. I can't make any promises. I send you to assemble the most efficient group possible. Your skills may end up being redundant. Well, it's honest. What brings this on, Emmeline? I don't think I've ever seen you act this way. Just mad, that's all. Mad, sad, and a little worried, I guess. I'll get over it. I was trying to make you feel better, and now I'm all worked up. Come on, let's go find an evil dragon's lair or something to loot. On second thought, a hobgoblin cave is more your speed. Or maybe a Svart village. I'll have to think about this one. There's actually a Svart village in the game. It's kind of tragic. Tragic in the sense of what we do to it, not its implementation. Anyway, what I was going to say is we can explore this map. There's stuff in this map. It will take a while. Now, I am going for a completionist run. But, if you don't want to watch me just walking around the map, killing things, sometimes it will be an absolute grind fest. There are some maps that don't have any plot on them whatsoever. They are just pure, you can grind here. So it may be something that you guys tell me that you'd rather skip the grind fest. Like, I'll play every now and again. Like, I will stream the main plot and or major side quests, but I'll just, off camera record other parts and put them on YouTube. Or you may decide you like the grinding. It's a good time for me to talk lore sometimes. Like, now would be a great time for me to talk about the Gith-Yankee thing and all that sort of thing. But I can't always promise that I will have something up to speed to be able to talk about in the moment. If you take forever, you might have to play Taking the Hobbits to Isengard. Look, yes, that and or Benny Hill's music. In fact, if I do this map right now, completely do this map right now, and you guys watch me through it, I guarantee you, there is a section on this map where it will almost literally be Benny Hill's music. In fact, I would recommend everybody just queue up, just open up YouTube, prepare Benny Hill's, and I'll just tell you when to play it. Is it killing Dritz? No. That happens much later and not on this map, and yeah, you know what? I'll give killing Dritz a shot. It's hard to kill Dritz. It's really quite hard to kill Dritz. But there are ways to do it. Web, entangle, lots of ranged attacks and magics. Oh, not so much magic because of his magic resistance. There are ways to do it. Yeah, that is a goal. We will kill Dritz and steal his stuff later on in the game. If you don't know who Dritz is, I'll tell you about it later. In the meantime, as I said, I'm going to walk around this map. It'll give you an impression of what the entire rest of the game could be like. So please do tell me if you want the rest of the playthrough to be like that or freaking not.
Indeed.
But to start with, let's go west. Hang on, let's actually go south first and unlock... See? There's something down there, and that's a really nice place to visit. There is something, I'll get to it later, But remember this, you can go down here and then go east and go straight here. And then go north. That is a path you can take. There is something about this path I will come back to at a later date.
Certainly.
Possibly later this session, maybe not. The Drow House Stritz is the House of Mary Sue. Actually, it's so much. So, since we're on the topic, I'll talk about this a lot more probably in Baldur's Gate 2. But, here we go. And if I could go to Candlekeep, I could go there from here. But, it's currently locked off to us. But, most people who know stuff about the Drow, which are Dark Elves in this setting, know it because they've read R.A. Salvatore's Drizzt books. And it kind of portrays, this is the archetypal house, you know, women in charge, very, very vicious, backstabbing society, all that sort of thing. Thing is, that if you really read up on the lore of the Forgotten Realms, I'll talk to this guy in a moment. He's one of my favourite NPCs, especially at the start of the game. But if you read up on Drow in the Forgotten Realms, maybe half of Drow society, probably a bit less, is actually reflected in the type of, you know, matriarchal society, we kill everybody, priestesses are the best, and all that sort of thing. There are so many different Drow cultures in the Forgotten Realms that's barely even the norm. It technically is the norm, but there are so many Drow societies across the Forgotten Realms that don't follow that template. Lots of them. Yeah, the Drow house Drizzt this from is the House of Mary Sue, is actually kind of the case. It's the most Drow of all the Drow of all the Drow, and most of the Drow kind of look at them and go, yeah, you're freaking weird, mate. It's kind of like looking at the Spartans of ancient Greece. The Spartans do not reflect the Greeks as a whole, as a society. They really don't. But that's what everybody knows. So, anyway, let's talk to this weird dude. I love this.
Touch me. I might catch something.
Hello, well, I was about to tell you not to come any closer, but that never seems to work, does it? Well, regardless, I should remain true to the genre. Don't come any closer, or I'll jump! Yeah, you heard me. I'll do it too. So don't come any closer again. Don't try to stop me. Hey, you know what? Mazarek over here was just locked out of her hometown without a penny, and some monsters killed her father. If anyone here should be jumping off cliffs, it's her. You don't see her jumping, so what's your problem? Anyway, you got 3 responses here. You have, okay. No, by all the gods, do not do such a thing. There is so much to live for. And by all means, jump if you want. More air for the rest of us. I'm going to pick the last one. How could you be so callous? I am so obviously in pain here. Have you no care for my needs? No, of course not. No one does. Not Mumsy, not Dadums, not Jeeves. I bet they'd be glad if I was gone. In fact, I'd probably be doing them a favour. That's it. I'll stay alive just to spite them. I'll be the most miserable, selfish upstart of a child. Actually, this won't be much of a change. But now I'm justified. Life is good. I could have at least tried to talk him out of it. Even if he was just looking for attention. Never mind. I'm a score to settle with a callous world. So yeah, no matter what option you choose, he doesn't jump. He's literally just looking for attention or for an excuse. And that's the funniest response to me. It's just like, yeah, jump. I will live for spite. I love it. I know, damn it, it's fantastic. Underdark Drow politics sounds like home. Concerned about your home. 3. Okay, now one thing I forgot to do was set her script. Blah, blah, blah. thief ranged. Now, for some reason, the script didn't seem to work before, so hopefully
Yes,
it works
it is
now.
done.
But, and I'm going to save here, see that bear? Bears are peaceful. They won't attack you, unless you get close to them.
What you want?
Remember how I told you to set up the Benny Hills music?
I am
You're
here.
going to want to set up the Benny Hills music.
Certainly.
And go! So! No! No, 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 don't go after her. Don't go after her. Go after me.
Indeed.
There we go. Ow.
My blade will
Yeah, bears hurt.
down to size.
The bears hurt a lot. Ah, shit, and there's a wolf there. Okay. Ah! Yeah, good. Keep coming after me. Keep coming after me. This is how you deal with bears in the early game. Because that happens when you don't do it. That is also why I saved. Alright, that was unbearable. Yes. Yes, it was. Alright, it's 12:50. I'm going to take another crack at that. Please, people, do let me know. I'm not opposed to going for another hour. But please let me know, because if this, like, for some of this, many of you in Australia, and it's like, what, 10 p.m. now? 9 p.m. I'm not sure. But do let me know if you want me to continue for another hour. You've got 10 minutes to decide. In the meantime, let's spend the rest of this next hour killing a bear.
I am indeed.
You don't want to fight a wolf. Not right now. Nope. Damn it, everyone, hit! I don't want you to run out of arrows and for me to have to fight him one-on-one. Oh, he's running. He's running. Ow. Well, at least he's dead. And now I fight this wolf, and hopefully don't die. I should drink that potion.
Concerns?
Not sure why he's running. I have a suspicion that he's actually running to get help.
Certainly, yes, indeed.
Or maybe he just ran off the map. Anyway, I'm saving. Because I killed that bear. Benny Hill music can stop. Now I think there is a second bear on this map somewhere. So I may have to do that running around in circles again. And on that, because I may have to do that running in circles, I should actually be in front.
Hello there.
Random dude. Well, a busy day for me today indeed. Strange noises throughout the night, and now plethora of people strolling around the road. Excuse me. Do look a pot more hospitable than the last two I met there. Well met, stranger. I'm called Kosid. Hey, I'm Mimoen, and that's my friend Mesric. We just got out of Candlekeep and are starting out on a grand adventure, avenging that great mage and all. Mesric, why are you standing with your mouth shut as a clam and tight as out? You know more than I do about fighting things anyway. So go tell him about it. That's what adventurers do. Famous ones anyway. Oh, how would they ever get into bard songs? Stand away from me. Don't trust you. Could you help me? I'm not sure where to go. I would have your assistance. You saw two people in the wood? I was told to meet some people at the Friendly Arm Inn. Perhaps they're the ones you met are one and the same. Let's go for that one, because we get more information. I doubt these are the ones you seek. They do not seem the friendly type, and are far afield of the inn. If you wish to meet them, I left them not a moment ago, just up the road. You have to pass them anyway if you wish to go to the Friendly Arm Inn. There's a crossroads, ways to the east, and the inn is north of that. So, point of note, don't actually have to go past them. As you saw, so long as you go to one of the edges of the map, you can just traverse to the next location. You don't have to follow the road, but it's a road. Most people naturally follow the road on a map. So if you follow the road, you will go past it. But if you just walk straight east from here, you wouldn't see them at all. Anyway, could you help me? I'm not sure where to go. I have a little besides goodwill. Go to the Friendly Arm Inn. Luck be with you. You hear him? Like-minded companions. That be me. You're doing all right, despite being thicker than Candlekeep's walls. Imoen the Magnificent is going to make an adventurer out of you. To you as well. Fare thee well, as they say. Alright. So, we're going to do some more walking around. I'm basically going to approach this map like it's grid. So, if I just go there, you can see I've unlocked that area now. I could move straight there if I wanted, but I don't want to. Not at the moment. So,
Indeed.
I want to clear this area out first. Now, there's the two dudes. I'm not going to talk to them right now. Those two guys can become companions. But, if I take them on as companions, that gives me a disadvantage right now. The reason is because of how experience is split. Now, every creature in this game is worth a set amount of experience. If I scroll back up a whole bunch, when I killed the bear, I got 175 experience points. Now, that is split evenly between myself and Imoen. Or more accurately, what it does is it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, so on and so forth. So if there's an odd amount, as would be in this case with 175, the extra one goes to me. If I had 6 party members and it didn't divide evenly between all 6, it would go, 1 to them, 1 to them, 1 to them, until you run out of the extra one to go to. So whoever's in top place gets the most experience. But in addition, if the more companions I have, the less experience goes to each individual character. And for this playthrough, I really want to get to high level as quickly as possible. So right now, I don't want to take those two as companions. I want to clear this map with just the two of us to maximize my experience point gain. Always helps if I click the attack button appropriately. One other thing is that it is entirely possible, say you've walked through an area before. If you walk there again later, new enemies may spawn there. It's a really interesting mechanic where they only sometimes do random enemy spawn. On any given map, so say on this map there are 20 potential random encounters. The first time I pass an area, the encounter may be there, but it may only appear the second or even third time I pass through that same bit of the map, while I'm, without leaving the map. Like, that bear, the first time I came through here, the bear may not have been there. But I may have walked there, done a whole lot of walking around, walked back here, and suddenly there's a bear there. So, you can't ever be 100% certain that you've cleared the area. Because even if you've cleared the area by going everywhere once, doesn't mean that someone new might not spawn there. But there is an upper limit. It's not an infinite spawn rate. There's a random dude here. Sorry, chum, but I can't stop to chat. There's been another caravan raided northeast of Pentecost, and I must report of these dire straits of the Grand Dukes. Messenger's work is never done. Another caravan raided? Wow, that's no good. Remember the flaming fists passing by Candlekeep last week? They said there was at least 2 missing. I think we should keep our eyes peeled or we'll be killed by bandits for nothing. Exciting though. Caravan bandits roads like an adventure from a book. Just keep your heads down and your weapons handy. Alright, now there's a couple things here. First off, if you didn't know that was there, you'd never bloody find it. Like, wow, and Winthrop used to tell me that diamonds didn't grow on trees. Sure, in Candlekeep they don't. Hey, Mazarin, cheer up. Timora favours us. Seems to me. So Timora is like the god of just luck, essentially. Good luck specifically, but luck. Anyway, one of the things about this game, if you've played this game before, like, so, people like Space Monkey, there's a lot of Imoen's dialogue here you will have never encountered before. And in fact, you may have noticed when watching this playthrough, is it didn't always jar right. Like, someone would say something, then Imoen would say something, and then that person wouldn't respond to what she just said, they'd be responding only to me. Or they'd say, like, you know, you might have found it a little bit jarring. There's two reasons for that. First off, because almost all of Imoen's dialogue in this game has been brought in via a mod. Almost all of it. There's very little that's actually from Imoen in this game, from the original game. But there's a specific reason for that. Imoen is the very last companion that they added to the game. We are talking like they'd written most of the game, they'd almost finished it, and they were just like, you know what? We need to add this content. We've got this idea, these things that we want to explore, like this, we're going to add her to the game. So she didn't get a chance to have dialogue written for her. There's almost no interactions between her and any other characters in the game, which is one reason why a lot of players, like, they pick her up at first, but then they drop her because other NPCs are actually more interesting and have back and forths and banters and that sort of thing. There's not as much in Baldur's Gate 1, but there's a lot more in Baldur's Gate 2. In Baldur's Gate 2, she's a fully formed character. But in Baldur's Gate 1, she was one of the last things they actually added to the game. So there's a lot that they clearly wanted to do with this character, but they never did, and they never wrote it to begin with. So one of the mods I added is specifically to make her a bit more chatty, to give her some dialogue, to give her some life, because she is actually an important character in the game, but she just doesn't get the limelight in this game because of how late they added her to the game. A mutant cheese wheel mimic? What? What? Alright. Yes, I think I missed something there, but alright. Remind me to use that in a game though sometime. Aha, there's a wolf.
Your concern.
I'm going to attack the crap out of that wolf because I missed the last one for some reason. He ran off. Oh, that's right!
Certainly.
Oh, that's going to make things interesting. Okay, so one of the mods that I installed, the Sword Coast Stratagems mod, that gave me the slightly different difficulty levels, improved the artificial intelligence. One of the things that it did is it makes wolves and dogs behave more like wolves and dogs. So that's why it's running away now, because that's actually the result from what I added, is that it won't necessarily just attack me, it will potentially run away. So yeah, that explains that. That behaviour.
Certainly.
Anyway, we've encountered the corpse. Now, something I forgot to do. There's this button. And a lot of people miss this button. It, like, every item that's on the ground, on the screen, can be picked up via here. Now, unlike other games, cough cough, Dark Souls, cough cough, doesn't really matter, like, it doesn't tell you much who's got what items. For example, these things here are directly from Gorion, but it doesn't really matter. Like, the items they're wearing, aside from the scroll, which tells you it's from Gorion, doesn't tell you anything about the characters, like, who you get items from doesn't really expand on anything. Is that Gorion? Yes, he died saving me from something. It was Gorion. He died while protecting me from an attack. Push the buddy with the toe of your foot. Right, the great mage Gorion. Not even stand his ground against a couple of ogres and a scarecrow. Sod it, I'm picking that one. Hey! You were hiding your butt under a bush while he was fighting all those monsters, weren't you? Don't you even know what attacked you? Whatever it was looked like it was vicious. I was scared out of my wits, what do you expect? It was too dark to see, but it was humanoid. Though I couldn't see a face, his eyes glowed like hell's fire, and he wouldn't have gone straight. He would have gone straight for me if Gorion, God rest his soul, had not barred his way. Can't remember much about last night, or much about the attacker, but I do remember that it spoke. Ogres, some girl with a mace, a huge man in spiked armor. I didn't stick around long enough to take a closer look, you know. With Gorion shouting at me to run, the man demanding my head and all. Go that one, it seems the most interesting, really. Let's see. So he wasn't after Gorion, but you. A wonderful deduction, Sherlock Emmerlin. I don't like this, Mazarek. Don't like it at all. I don't either, but I have to find out what's going on, and why I was attacked. I don't want to drag you into this, though, Emmerlin. I don't either. What's done is done. Gorion's spirit won't come back now. Not entirely true, but that's a spoiler. I doubt even a high cleric of Helm could restore him to life with a body he's torn up. No, we'd better move on now, Emon. I didn't want him to die, but I will avenge him! Heh, things just started to get interesting. Don't get me wrong, I wish Gorion was here, but this is how great adventures start, Emon. Have I asked your opinion, brat? Wow. I wonder if it's possible to drive Imoen away with some of these remarks. Make her leave you. Blah, blah, blah. Let's give her the choice to leave. Leave? If I did, who would keep you entertained? Who would keep your spirits lifted in the darkest hour? Who would keep up the practical jokes? Leave? Ha! You have to force me to leave you now. Alright, let's take some money. So let's just take everything. Early on in the game, money is useful. Later on, it doesn't matter nearly as much. But like, if I can take everything and sell it at the moment, at least here at the start of the game, it's kinda useful. Later on, I will not care that much about picking up every single damn item, and even some of these items I'm probably going to drop because I'm probably going to run out of inventory space. Anyway, that is all of the interesting stuff. Aside from talking to those two guys, that's all the interesting stuff on this map. Right now, I'm just exploring it for experience and to unlock whatever is up here, which there's nothing up here.
Certainly.
So yes, right now you are looking at the completionist thing. So instead, let's talk a little bit about a question that somebody asked me, which is the Gith-Yankee thing. Okay, I'm caught off time for 9/11. See ya. Number 4. Alright. I'll finish this map, and I'll at least get up, like, I'll clear this area and then I'll stop once we get to Zara and Monteron, I guess. Those are the two dudes. But yeah, the Gith-Yankee thing. So, I really love the Gith-Yankee as a concept. So it's very, very tied to Mind Flayers, who, as I said earlier, I also quite love. But so, I have to kind of explain the Mind Flayers at least briefly a little first before I can explain the Gith-Yankee. So, the Mind Flayers are a time-traveling empire that basically ruled the universe. Sometime in the distant future, they owned a massive-ass empire, arguably, like, at least they say, and various of their enemies say, was the largest empire that existed in time and space, essentially. And they had the Gith-Yankee as their slaves. They had a massive slave army, a massive slave population. But under the leadership of a woman named Gith, which is who they ended up taking their name after, they rose up, fought the Mind Flayers, and actually kind of won and broke the backs of the Empire. It's very much like, imagine if Spartacus won against the Roman Empire. It's very much that sort of story. But, the Gith-Yankee didn't turn out to be much better than the Mind Flayers. They ended up becoming just as vicious, just as cruel. They're incredibly xenophobic and incredibly genocidal. Like, Gith-Yankee do not work well with any other species, including some of their own kind. There are 3 factions of Gith-Yankee. Of Gith. There's the Gith-Yankee, the Gith-Zerai, and the Pirates. Not many people know about the Pirates. It's an interesting bit of lore. I love the Pirates, but there's not much about them, really. But the Gith-Yankee and the Gith-Zerai are the main 2, and they're absolutely genocidal against each other. Mind Flayers are priority number 1. They will actively go out of their way to murder the crap out of Mind Flayers wherever they can find them. And, like, it's even a rite of passage for some factions, for the Gith-Zerai specifically. Like, you are not a man until you have murdered an Illithid, a Mind Flayer. The Gith-Yankee and the Gith-Zerai then hate each other's guts, and kind of go genocidal on each other, and then everybody else they're genocidal against everybody else. Like, nobody else is even worth their time, but they will murder you because you're not there. So they are the most absolute genocidal race that exists in the D&D universe. Above and beyond everybody. Xenophobic, genocidal, and organized. Unlike, say, Beholders, which are genocidal and paranoid, Gith-Yankee are smart, evil, villainous humanoids. Now, 5th edition ruins all that. I really hate what 5th edition with Gith-Yankee and Gith-Zerai. It's incredibly stupid. But I still like the 2nd edition, the 3rd edition, and even to a greater extent the 4th edition versions, and what happens to Gith-Zerai and their story is amazing, and I love it. But the thing is that the Gith-Yankee and the Gith-Zerai are from the future. The Mind Flayers are actually from the future. And at some point during the war, the Mind Flayers basically travelled back in time, and the Gith-Yankee and Gith-Zerai pursued them, and that's why both races are now here in this point in time, because their war is still going on. The Mind Flayers are kind of like, okay, we screwed up, time is now different, we want to rebuild our empire, and bloody hell, the slaves that broke our empire have followed us, and both the Gith-Yankee want to replace the Mind Flayers. They want their empire. They want to rule everything. Like, it's literally, imagine Spartacus, but then immediately after defeating Rome went, we have made a new empire and it's going to be even more evil than the first one. So yeah, they make for such wonderful villains, very interesting. And there's just so much going on with it. Make the Mind Flayers into calamari. Sounds tasty, but really they're octopus people, or squid people, but octopus people. So, anyway, crossover idea of Doctor Who versus the Mind Flayers. Technically that's already happened, yeah, so, now I want to, alright, look, I'm going to talk to these guys, and that'll be the last thing I do this game. That'll be the end of today's session. Just talking to these guys, and I'll recruit them. Or I'll talk to Imowen. Here we are, traveling the good road. Some grand adventure we're having, huh? Not exactly what we used to dream about, but still, kind of exciting. I guess I'd rather be out here, going places and doing things, than be stuck in Candlekeep, cleaning out stables and turning down beds. It's been interesting to say the least. Not quite what I had in mind either, but it's not like I had a choice. I don't know. I would have been happy in Candlekeep, I think. I'd rather have some peace and security right now rather than all this hardship. Not much of an adventurer, am I? Yes, the whole world is out here. Power, wealth, all waiting for me. I intend to grab as much as I can. You're babbling again, Imoen. You know how much I hate it when you do that. Keep a lid on it. I like that there's an option to be a dick, but you dick. Yeah, let's go with it's been interesting. That's we, remember? And yeah, suppose we don't have much choice at that. Still, we can do a lot of good, I think. Wonder if they'll make a tale about our adventurers. Just think, one day folk will be in the common room of some inn, maybe even the Candlekeep Inn, and ask a bard to tell them the tale of Imoen the Quick and her trusty sidekick Mazarek. Sidekick? Okay, we'll be partners, I suppose. What do you think? Imoen the Quick sounds good to you? Quick the blade and wit. All the best heroes and heroines have handles. Maybe Imoen the Terrible. Nah, too dark. Imoen the Bold? Imoen the Sly? Imoen the Magnificent. Sounds pretty good. How about Imoen the Pinnacle Annoyance, the epitome of vexation, and the champion of besetment. You're babbling again, Imoen. Know how much I hate it when you do... No, screw that. Kind of tempted to do that one, but no, we're doing this one. Shush you, I'm thinking. Where was I? Still kind of like Imoen the Quick. If it's taken already. It's kind of funny. Oh, that's what the numbers are. You're trying to tell me which numbers to pick. Ah. Smart. I didn't even think of doing that earlier. Yeah. I might do that in future. Thank you. I can't believe I didn't even bloody think of it. Especially because you guys can read the text faster than I can verbalize it. So, yeah, it's a great way to get some potential input. Alright.
It is done.
Ye already be disturbed. Now leave me be.
Hello there.
Your
Rather
company
strange
be
place to be
toiling
wandering.
up
My
as
companion has something to say to you. So, there we go.
Montaran, you are so aggravating.
A child wandering in the wilderness? Surely you must be none too bright to be traveling these... I cannot do his... Like, yeah, no. And you look a bit scuffed, too. A fine pair of troubles all your own. Indeed. I can offer you healing potions if you wish. As a token of goodwill. Psst, Azric. The mage smells like he's laying honey and bread. But I don't know. I don't like his eyes a single bit. Practical assistant, I prefer to work on my own. I know you not and want none of you help. Look, I'm going to take them. I'm going to take them for two reasons. One, I want to show you all the companions. But two, there is something interesting about these guys later on. Not too much later on, but later on that is worth you sticking around for. Well, for them sticking around for. I'd be grateful. Nothing to fear from these simple potions, and I'll even not hold you in debt, though your conscience knows otherwise. Just like all good people. Perhaps as payment... Oh, sod it. Perhaps as payment you would go with us to Nashkel. It's a troubled area, and we need to investigate some disturbing rumours surrounding the local mines. Some acquaintances are very concerned about the iron shortage, specifically where to lay the blame in this matter. You would be useful, though I'd not hold you to it. We are to meet the mayor of the town, a man named Baron Gustkill, I believe. Your conscience be your guide. Little else to do, go on your way. I would join you, but first I must meet with someone. Would you go with me? We've precious little time, but it's best to travel accompanied. I don't like the look of these two jokers. Nope, I don't like it at all. Let's go to the friendly arm in soon, huh? I'd like to have some people I can trust traveling with us. I will go with you. You owe us out for our time, though.
Your concern. It is done.
Alright. So, I'm going to take this to here. Now, we will be ending the stream here, and hopefully, like on Thursday, though possibly tomorrow if there are issues with Dark Souls again. Liam was not able to make it today. I explained why on the Facebook page, but hopefully Dark Souls will resume tomorrow as per normal, and we will continue this on Thursday. Also, this Wednesday is my birthday. I will be running a games day, so Jackbox games, all that sort of thing. It'll be starting nice and early, like freaking 6 a.m. for me, which I think is like 2 p.m.-ish for Australia. So please join me in that. massive ass games day. Everybody join in. But Thursday, I will, fingers crossed, I will be continuing this playthrough. When I do, I'll bring it up again, but I will explain the importance of this route and how you can really make it stupidly useful for you. Very stupidly useful for you, but you can do it. Anyway, that's it for today. So, let's officially save the game. Happy Cake Sacrifice Day, AJ May. Many cakes be sacrificed in honor of your birth. Shit, I need to buy a cake. I think there's a plan to go shopping. Like, I was going to go shopping later today. Like, some friends were going to give me a lift. I'm going to buy myself a cake. I hadn't even thought of that. Thank you! I can't believe I didn't even think of that. I was just going to buy myself some chocolate. No, freaking cake, yeah. It'll just be like a supermarket cake, but freaking cake. Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, that's it for today's stream. Please, if you have any recommendations, any wants, especially if you know this game, any wants, like, do you want me to record everything, including the grind-a-thons, or would you rather I just do them out of Twitch time, out of the stream time? I know the game almost well enough that I can actually pinpoint, yeah, there's nothing important here, I can just grind it, or, you know, just beeline to the important things and grind the rest later. It's up to you guys for that. In addition, tell me if you want me to read the books, like we pick up a book and I just read it and then talk about it, or if you'd rather me do an entire stream every now and again where I just buy a bunch of the books and then just talk about those books and what's in them, and just have an entire occasional Twitches where I'm just talking about the lore that's in those books. Even some items have lore like that, like just stories, and very rare that they have expansive stuff outside of the game, but there's a couple that do, so, you know, things like that. I could just spend, you know, do some Twitches, some streams which are just purely dedicated to, here's 7 books, let's read the books and talk lore, or I can read them as I go. It is very much up to you guys, and if you have any other suggestions, please throw them in. And if, I cannot stress this enough, if you would like to be a voice, because I'm sure you guys got annoyed at my terrible voice acting, like if I can get a guy to join me and a girl to join me, and just do some voice acting, you know, someone do all the female lines and somebody do all the male lines, and I do all of our character lines and just the general talking, that would be fantastic. I'd freaking love that. Props to like, I'll give definite props to anyone who is either looking for a career in voice acting, and I do know a couple of people with looking for a career in voice acting, so if you aren't watching this right now, I will actually throw you a line. Or if it's something that will actually help in your portfolio, if you've got your own Twitch or your own YouTube channel, I definitely love to do that cross-filtration with you so that my viewers go and see you and maybe your viewers come and see me. But, yeah, if it's going to benefit you, I definitely want you. But even if it's not, you know, even if you're just interested in doing it, freaking throw me a line. Like, one of the things that will make this good will potentially be some of the, like, a little bit of banter as well. Me talking to you and you asking questions now and then when you think of something. So I'm going to be doing a lot of talking, so your role would mostly just be the character, like the character talk, but drop me a line. And if there's anything else you can think of, anything else you want, throw it to me. Somebody had the genius idea, and I can't believe I didn't think of it, of you guys just, you know, saying, pick number 2, pick number 4. Like, I can't believe I didn't even think of that. So that's another genius suggestion that just happened because I was able to read the Twitch posts. Things, like anything like that, throw them at me. I will incorporate as much as possible. I want this to be as much of an experience for you as it is for me playing it. But that's all we have time for today. So thank you for joining me. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please tell me if you did or didn't, and what you did or didn't, and all of those suggestions and that sort of thing. Throw it at me on the Facebook page, Flayer Games, on Facebook. And I will see you, if not, like tomorrow for Dark Souls, Wednesday for my birthday games days, and then Thursday and Friday for more of this. Farewell.